How are you?
I'm pretty darn good. How are you?
Very good, thanks.
Any particular order?
No, we're fine. I think, Carrie, we might need the big lights on. Do we?
The big light, do you guys want the big tiki lights on?
If we can, that
Yeah, it
would be
makes it
good,
much
yeah.
better.
Why don't we put half of them on?
On the other side, yeah.
There we go. You can land an airplane in here now.
Let there
Look
be
at this.
light.
Right here, see, Lynn, you
Is that okay with you guys?
You right here. next to-
Yeah, I'm just gonna re-weight balance real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be good. Perfect.
How about if I take them and then you can give me your number?
You ready? All right, good morning. As the honorary chair of Omaha Sister Cities Association, it's very exciting today to announce a new sister city friendship agreement with Carlentini, Sicily. A friendship agreement will provide opportunities for cultural, educational, business partnerships and exchanges. It is the initial step that can lead to a formal sister city agreement. Carlentini and Omaha have a century-old connection and a history of family, faith, culture, and tradition. The first Carlentini immigrants arrived in Omaha in the early 1900s to work on the Union Pacific Railroad. Over the last year, descendants of those first immigrants have coordinated with the Omaha Sister City Association to prepare for this new friendship agreement. They formed, I'm going to say this wrong, Sicula Italian Foundation, a nonprofit whose mission is to bring the two cities together. So let me introduce Cialan LaGreca, representing the Omaha Sister City Association, and then also Charlie Vendetti, representing Sicula Italian Foundation. My pronunciation has something to be desired here. So, Cialan.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. I'm Cialan LaGreca, a past president of the Omaha Sister City Association and the chair of the Omaha Sister City Carlentini Committee. And I'm really happy to be here this morning to talk about Carlentini. As the mayor said, Omaha has a rich Italian connection dating back to the first wave of immigrants, mostly from southern Italy and Sicily, who came to Omaha starting in 1893. My paternal grandparents were among those immigrants, leaving a small hill town in southern Italy and coming to Omaha via New York and Philadelphia around the turn of the century. While the other members of the LaGreca clan went on to Western Canada, it was my Nana who insisted she and my grandfather stay in Omaha and raise their family here because Omaha was now her home, and I'm glad they did. To say that there's a tremendous amount of support for Carlentini, Sicily as a friendship city among the Italian American community in Omaha would be a dramatic understatement. More than 2/3 of the Omahans with Italian ancestry of immigrants are descendants of immigrants from the town of Carlentini, which just is an amazing statistic. 2/3 of the Italian Americans in Omaha came from this town. Representatives of both sides have become aware of strong support between Omaha and Carlentini to strengthen our relationship and celebrate these long-standing ties. This step, the Friendship City Agreement, could one day lead to a Sister City Agreement. There are many opportunities for cooperation in the areas of education, cultural exchanges, travel, and intergovernmental collaboration. The Omaha Carlentini Friendship City Agreement, there will be a virtual signing ceremony on September 22nd at the Durham with live feed from Italy. To accomplish a Friendship City Agreement amid a global pandemic really speaks volumes about the strong level of support and engagement between Omaha and Carlentini. The collaboration between the people of Carlentini and Omaha has been remarkable, and technology has made this possible during a time of international travel difficulties this last year due to COVID-19. So we look forward to the day when we can send official delegations to visit both cities, and we're confident that this rich connection between Omaha and Carlentini will last for generations to come. So now I'd like to turn it over to Charlie Vendetti, who's president of the Sicula Italia Foundation.
Thank you, Sarah. First, I'd like to start off by just thanking Mayor Stothert for the opportunity for me to speak here today about this great endeavor we're undertaking. I'm humbled to speak on behalf of the Italian American community here in Omaha. As mentioned, the majority of Italian Americans can trace their heritage back to Carlentini, Sicily, of those that have been living in Omaha since the late 1800s and the early 1900s. I can speak to that fact, both my mother's parents who came from Carlentini, Sicily, and my father's parents leaving Vinci Arturo, Italy. So this holds a great place in my heart to be able to look into the future and say that it's going to be possible to be a friendship city with Carlentini. The majority of Italian Americans in Omaha who trace their heritage back to Carlentini did do so and look that at a time when Omaha was growing, they were in need of energetic, patriotic citizens, and many who came from Carlentini worked at the Union Pacific Railroad, as was mentioned. My father and my grandfather both worked and retired from the Union Pacific Railroad, and currently have relatives still working for the railroad. We've been fortunate in Omaha to have a spirited collaboration with the three Italian American groups, those being the Italian American Heritage Society, the Andalusia Festival Committee, and the Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. And those three organizations have started a nonprofit called Secula Italia, which means Sicily, Italy, translated in English. And together, we'll continue to study the level of support between Carlentini and Omaha. I can tell you by ending what I have to say here today is the Italian community in Omaha is full of energy and enthusiasm to see this move forward and working with the Omaha Sister Cities Association. So, thank you for your time. Thank you again.
Back to me? No one else wants to say anything, huh? Alrighty. Well, Carlentini will be the second friendship agreement that we have signed in the last 2 years. In 2019, we signed an agreement with Isigny near Normandy Beach in France. We also have 6 other sister cities: Braunschweig, Germany, Chalet, Lithuania, Nice, Ireland, Jalapa, Mexico, and Yantai, China. And also Shizuoka, Japan, which is our oldest sister city. Sister cities bring opportunities to the important areas of education, diplomacy, and commercial and economic development. These relationships are a fundamental part of the Sister City Agreement, but the personal relationships that we develop are especially meaningful. I want to thank all of the volunteer members for the work that you do to make these relationships so rewarding. The Omaha Carlentini Friendship Agreement virtual signing ceremony will be held, as said before, on September 22nd at the Durham Western Heritage Museum to recognize the historic connection between Carlentini and the Union Pacific Railroad. Questions for any of us?
I know we have a big Italian community here. We had the Santa Lucia Festival just recently. What do you think this will mean to the people of this community?
Well, I'll answer, and then I want some of these folks to answer, because I think I just think it's going to be great for the city, and it's going to be great for those who live in our city with Italian heritage. They've been very active. Like I said, we have the festival, we have the Sons and Daughters of Italy. We have a lot of groups that have formed just to share their past and their heritage, and I think this formal agreement will, as our other sister cities, just brings us closer to what's going on in the rest of the world. And I think in Omaha it's becoming more diverse, and I think we need to really celebrate that diversity. So, with our other 6 sister cities we currently have, and then with moving forward with France, with Isigny in France, and now this in Carlentini, Italy, it really, really will benefit Omaha in many ways. You really get what you give, and these are great relationships that we have. I've had the mayor of Chalet, Lithuania, Jalapa, Mexico, let me think, Shizuoka, Nice. Yeah, I have a beautiful picture in my office from the mayor in Nice. So those relationships that, you know, even between me and the mayors are really, really positive to learn a lot about their country and their culture. Would you like to say something, how it means to you? Either one of anybody.
My name is Carlentini Omaha, and I'm the vice president of the Sister City Association. So, I have to say, since I came from Carlentini, this means so much, and I've been trying to keep our communities together, doing like different events through my music, because I'm an entertainer. So, and it's been successful in sharing our differences, our everything that keeps us connected. So I have to say, this means so much to me and my family. So very grateful for this to happen. Thank you.
Anybody else want to make a comment? Sure.
This is a validation to my ancestors to recognize their hard work and sacrifice that they made coming to the United States. My family in particular, my great-great-grandmother came with 2 of her daughters and left 1 behind. And so my relationship with my cousins overseas still continues to this day through past generations. And for that to be able to continue, I foresee that primarily being through education. So that's kind of how I see this importance moving forward, is through education. Thank you.
Any other questions? Not today, huh?
No.
Okay,
I think we
all
kind
right.
of covered everything.
Well,
in this.
hope you can make it to
That's
the,
always the goal.
the virtual
Yes.
signing, because that'll be really, we'll have big screen, we'll have the mayor from Carlentini on the screen, we'll have interpreters there, and I think that the place we're having it, the Durham, is a perfect spot for it, because it celebrates a lot about their heritage, where it all started too. All right, well, thank you all.
Thank
you all for
you.
being here
Thank you.
today. Yeah, you bet.
Sure, why don't we take everybody back to your office and I'll get a group picture.
Okay.
Exception.